This just in, Dallas Cowboys receiver CeeDee Lamb is not expected to report to training camp. That's the latest from our lead NFL insider, Jonathan Jones. Lamb and the Cowboys have not been able to come to terms on a long-term contract extension. He's set to make nearly $18 million this offseason, the final year of his current deal. And remember, he's coming off a career season, leading the league with receptions, 135, to go along with over 1,700 yards and 12 touchdowns. Time now to welcome in CBS Sports NFL writer Garrett Podell. And Garrett, you just wrote about this contract situation on CBSSports.com Tuesday in terms of where this leaves the Cowboys, because you got other stars looking for paydays. How do you expect them to handle all of these matters?
Well, Chris, this is a situation where they've been kind of kicking the can the last few years, and everyone made a big fuss about the all-in offseason for Jerry Jones and the Cowboys. And he said what all-in meant to him was actually, we're going to spend money on our own guys. That's Dak Prescott, that's CeeDee Lamb, that's Micah Parsons down the road. Stephen Jones, his son and team CEO and EVP, talked about pre-draft that the reason they've handled their cap space or lack thereof this offseason is because they were carving out room to make deals with Dak and CeeDee long-term. So now it's time for them to hit the button and get these deals done, because as we've seen, Justin Jefferson, 4 years, $140 million, he kind of set the market at the wide receiver position, especially as a draft classmate of CeeDee Lamb. And now Lamb, he has not been in the building all offseason, skipped minicamp, skipped OTAs, because he's going for his first deal. Now, I spoke to Dak Prescott during the OTAs minicamp period, and he compared what CeeDee's going through and what he's going through as two different things, because he said his first go-round searching for a long-term deal, it was a little more personal. So that's why Dak, this time around, since he's made his money, a 4-year, $140 million contract, he's fine showing up and playing ball and participating in everything this offseason. But Lamb, he totally understands, to quote Prescott, business is business is business. And they know that CeeDee is working away from the facility and doing everything he can to be in shape for the 2024 season.
Right, when it comes down to these matters, nothing is personal. Just give me the money that I feel I am owed. Now, you have all these stars that want this money. And again, to Dak's point, it's not the same situation. But do you think it's likely that they're going to be able to pay all these guys what they want? Or do you think it's a scenario where somebody is not going to get the money they want and they might be headed out of Cowboy Nation?
That's a great question, Chris. Next season for 2025, Dallas is set to have one of the 5 biggest amounts of cap space, according to overthecap.com, for next offseason. So given that kind of space that they've carved out, there certainly is a possibility for them to retain Dak, CeeDee, and Micah Parsons, who's extension eligible for the first time in his career this offseason after playing his 3rd year in 2023. Sure, the depth might look a lot different after this year, but to keep their big 3 together, it is financially possible. It will just have to be where a situation that Jerry and Steven maybe take a look around, swallow their pride, and are willing to pay up and kind of admit that they kind of lost the stare down. This was exactly the situation that happened a few years ago back in 2020, 2021 with Dak and the franchise tagging twice before eventually signing Dak to the 4-year long-term deal. After the second franchise tag was applied, he never actually played on it. So kind of similar situation here, a little bit of resistance from the front office, but if they want to swallow their pride and get this deal done, everyone wants to be there. I mean, Dak, he's had his first child, that MJ, who's now 4 or 5 months old. CeeDee's always been a Cowboy fan. So if they want to keep these guys here long term, they're willing to do it. Just meet the numbers, and now it's go time. The markets have been established.
Right, so we'll see if they're actually willing to pay the money that these guys feel they deserve. We appreciate the time, Garrett.
Thank you.
And so again, CeeDee Lamb, he had a career year last season, 135 receptions, a Dallas franchise record. Also, 1,749 receiving yards, another Cowboys franchise record. And then, by the way, he also had 12 touchdowns, good for 3rd in the league. One of the most dynamic receivers in the game, holding out from training camp so far. And now it's a matter of who's going to blink first in terms of getting this contract done.